Instead, the ancient Anglo-Saxon sense for national community will be restored as the model for the new English society. Indeed, your iron will and unyielding determination will make you move mountains, and nothing less is expected from you. The great national reconstruction will be a gigantic task, but no matter how great are the challenges, you will rise to meet them, and overcoming them will make you better and stronger. As you make progress, your enemies try to lead you astray at every step you take. When you hear someone say, that can't be done, you know it's the enemy talking. When you hear someone say, this is not the time for such an undertaking, you know they were the words of a traitor. When you hear someone say, you don't know how to do this, you don't have the expertise, you will know that the betrayer is trying to discourage you. When you hear someone say, that is wrong, that is cruel, barbaric, or that is against the law, you know that you are face to face with a bloody fool. But indeed, the greatest question of our time is how to deal with the enemy within. National revolution as a political event is simply not enough. You have to go further, you have to be much more radical. What is needed is the great cultural revolution in England. Western societies are so deeply infiltrated by the enemies of the people that it is completely impossible to think any kind of fundamental and lasting political change without a complete purge of the cultural institutions. Your greatest enemies are the media and especially the universities, which seem to work as kind of incubators or hives for the most virulent enemies of our people. In your dealings with the academic world, you should seek inspiration from Maoist China and Khmer Rouge Cambodia. You must spearhead the popular reaction against academic elitism and systematically purge the universities once and for all. You simply cannot wait for the change to come from within the academic system, and therefore it must be brought from without. Even though I personally believe in the great cultural paradigm shift that will eventually change the intellectual landscape of the Western societies, but I still can't see that even the most profound ideological change in the society at large could have any effect on the academic world, because these Bolshevik academics have had plenty of time to secure their positions against any influence from the outside world. Besides, it appears that universities, especially the humanistic faculties, have the tendency to attract a certain type of offspring of the Western bourgeoisie that seems to be almost pre-programmed to embrace practically any ideology that is hostile to European people. So the change must be brought from the outside, and it must be brought by force. For this historic task, an entirely new type of shock troops should be created, the nationalist Khmer Noir commandos. Raised from the ranks of the working class, clad in black hoodies, covering their faces with black and white checkered scarves, the young fanatics of the movement will storm the universities, break into classrooms, and tear the academics down from their podiums. The Red academics will be forced to admit their crimes against the English people in mass rallies. They will publicly confess how they have always conspired against the English people, how they have always hated the English people, and how they have always fantasized about hurting the English people. After this, the Red academics will be forced to face the wrath of the masses. The parasite intellectuals will be, at all times, forced to carry signs declaring their evil schemes against the English people. They will be forced to explain in detail the methods and techniques they used in deceiving you. You will make them describe again and again and again and again how they dreamt about England's death, how elated they were when they could see everything turning into ruins, and especially how they rejoiced seeing the desperation of the English people. After this, you will throw them to the raging masses. Nationalist cultural revolution requires that you ignite an inferno of rage in the English people, an all-empowering, all-conquering, all-consuming fury, an uncontrollable hatred. You must utterly destroy everything that is foul, deformed, corrupt, and degenerate. You must attack those responsible for the debasement of your culture. You must bring them down on their knees, and you must destroy everything they have ever created. let the world know just how much you hate and despise this pseudo-intellectual vermin. Their titles and credentials. Their titles and credentials, honors they have received, and chairs they hold will not impress you or deceive you. The English national working class will soon give a brutal lesson to these pinko bourgeois traitors. The English national working class will break the bones of the bleak-wristed campus Marxists and wannabe revolutionaries. The English national working class will soon teach the red elitists what real revolution is all about. Only those who work have the right to decide the course of the nation. This is why it is high time that the English working class finally shakes the blood-sucking university scum off its back. Let there be a declaration of independence of the English national working class from the treacherous literary class. The English working class must finally learn to stand on its own feet, forsake the Marxist means, and bring down the entire academic superstructure that serves as an intellectual yoke to enslave the English people. Young people of England, you are the generation of struggle. So much is expected from you. Your burden is heavier than the burden of any generation before you or after you. You are in pain because you are forced to witness the slow death of your nation. You are young and idealistic, but because you are young, you are also absolutely merciless. Only young people whom age has not yet corrupted can feel such boundless hate when facing dishonesty and moral weakness. Yes. This ability behaving to a truly revolutionary generation. You are the sons and daughters of this land. England is your inheritance. England is yours. It cannot and will not belong to anyone else. Do not hesitate to claim it. Do not hesitate to demand it. And do not hesitate to embrace it. The vile politicians, the sick media, the Marxist-educated class and the other bastards, the bankers and capitalists try to seduce you to give up your birthright. But only a worthless cretin would give up his land and title.
Hey, JC. Thanks.
England is your legacy, and should you throw it away, you
Appreciate your comment. Thanks.
Underclass, worthless peons, slaves, a traveling band of fools who gave away all that was rightfully theirs. Your children will curse you, and those who robbed you blind will laugh at you. Soon comes the St. Crispin's Day of your generation, the day when the fate of England will be decided in a bloody clash of arms. You are the pride of England. You are the very best this nation has ever produced. You are the salvation and future of England. You will impose your iron will on the land and the people, and you will resurrect a dying nation. The so-called intellectuals from the left are always busy trying to deconstruct the nation, trying to reduce the nation to its parts in order to explain it away. But this nation does exist. It refuses to die and it refuses to vanish simply to make some Trotskyite Pharisees happy. This nation is a source of great happiness to its people. This nation is a cause of great pride to its people. We nationalists know that the nation is always much more than a mere sum of its parts. And it is exactly this strange, unexplainable, extraordinary dimension that is the metaphysical aspect of the nation. But indeed, a nation does need an elite. The elite must be infused with passion and devotion for the land and the people. The elite must be unflinching in its loyalty to the heritage and future of the nation. The elite must be the embodiment of the nation. If the elite doesn't reflect these qualities, the nation is doomed, because the elite then is only a gang of highly paid traitors. Tragically, today, the elite in this land mostly comprises of Trotskyites, either active, reformed, or closet Trotskyites, but nevertheless people who have once sworn to destroy the English nation. In short, England is now in the hands of traitors. In a way, we can say that the Cambridge Five never actually left this country, the Cambridge Five rule this country. It is clear that in order for England to survive, you have to become the new elite of this land. In order to achieve this, you have to be better than anyone else. You have to be organized, disciplined, hierarchical, calculating, conspiring, deceiving, violent, and unforgiving. You have to be a secret tech and a mass movement, an iron fist in a silk glove, brute force and the deepest intellect, all at the same time. You have to be populists and elitists and understand the balance. You have to spread across the society like a virus, intrude its every level, invade every institution, infiltrate every organization, penetrate the system's intellectual defenses, impregnate the public consciousness with revolutionary thoughts, and do all that while operating as one single collective being, with one mind, one will, one goal. And more than this, in order to win, you must have the lust for power. You have to be obsessed with power, absolute power, and you have to declare it openly and without shame. Everything about you, everything you do, everything you say, everything you think has to be about power. How to get it, how to keep it, how to use it, and how to get it even more. You must taste that word, feel that word, the most beautiful word in the English language, power. Every day you have to reassert to yourself again and again that this is about power. And today you will do at least one thing that will take you closer to taking over England. You have to become the generation of power, absolute power, to save England. Tell everyone you know that you want to save England, and for that reason you are prepared to do anything, absolutely anything, to get the power in this land one day. Explain everyone you ever meet that you're a member in a movement that is destined to hold power over this land. Power with no restraints, total power, boundless power. It is said that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. But let us not kid ourselves here. Without power, you absolutely cannot change the world. Without power, you are only a pitiful victim. Indeed, it is better to be ruthless and powerful than be virtuous and powerless. Only hermits and sages can do without power, but they will not save England. It is painfully clear that the kindness and hospitality of the English people has been abused by opportunistic intruders and invasive parasites. The trusting nature of the English people, their habit of trying to avoid conflicts and natural tendency for fair play, has made it possible for aggressive beggars and violent career criminals to take over a large part of this land and start extorting money and services from the people. The disciplined industriousness, honesty and frugality of the English people is now a source of great wealth to foreign crime bosses and a multitude of habitual offenders and benefit spongers infiltrating this country every day. Mild temperament, good manners, the famous stiff upper lip, and unwillingness to draw attention to oneself have proven to be a great advantage for the hot-headed, aggressive and hysterical aliens who are masters of threatening behavior, psychological violence, and who are used to getting their way through brazen audacity, tantrums of rage, and theatrical displays of anger. The English politics have now turned into a death sentence for the English people, as the island is invaded by races who represent the absolute opposite of these noble qualities. Needless to say, these alien species are also the friends and allies of the modern left in its relentless war against the English people. Through intimidation and open ethnic violence, the radical left is pushing the English people into a corner. The defiling of the English girls is an integral part of the strategy of the left to break the spirit of the English people. The rape of women is a powerful way to demonstrate that the new breed has taken over the territory, and that is exactly what the radical left wants, to displace the English people once and for all. In the final analysis, sex-crazed Pakistani males are only the dumb, brutal and willing tool in the hands of the radical left in a sickening campaign to exterminate the English people. The radical left uses fancy words and high-flying theories and preaches lofty ideals, but do not let the humanistic platitudes fool you. The left is primarily motivated by an atavistic and primitive hatred for the English people. The leftists get intense, perverted thrill in seeing English girls as sex slaves of alien thugs. Seeing fear and desperation in the eyes of the English people sends extreme shivers of pleasure through leftist spines. Seeing English people beaten and robbed and fleeing an alien morgue is the absolute climax of satisfaction for the red intellectuals. When these modern Bolsheviks say, workers unite, what they really mean is death to the English. After the long years of liberal corruption, after the seemingly endless decades of leftist decadence, after a lifetime of catastrophic human flood, you must recreate England. You must rebuild this island fortress. You must re-establish this seat of the English race. lay her foundations deeper and stronger than ever. England for the English people, where Englishness itself is the highest virtue and the most respected quality. England, where solidarity, respect and kindness reign supreme. England, where the English people can always feel safe and proud. England, where the English people work side by side for the common good. England that will stand the test of time. England, the beacon of hope for Europe and the Western civilization. That England is worth fighting for.
Wow. That was amazing. There's a speech, well, part of a speech by Kai Murros. It's called National Revolution in England. And it's awesome. Quite awesome. Yeah, just a quick art stream. I'm doing a show tonight with White Student T. It's just a brief show. It'll be at 8:30 Eastern Time. And we're going to be doing it every week. It's going to be a regular show. And it will revolve around his book called Equal Training, which teaches tactics for how to counter critical race theory and anti-white propaganda in the school system, in the education system. And that is not just limited to the education system. It has a very large legal dimension to it, and also a very large linguistic element to it. So anyone, let's say if you were discriminated on your job for being white, or you're coping with, like, say, CRT, critical race theory on the job, for example, of which such things are all over the place. It's very prevalent. Then these tactics, I believe, would also be very useful to you and your lawyer. So, White Student T is a guy that I've known on the internet for a long time, but only met him really through, like, sort of, IRL met, I guess. What do you call it? Like, it's not face to face, but through my show. And I've come to find that, like, he's just like a highly, what's the word? He's got his shit together. The dude is super smart, super solid, very, very polished in the sense that he knows exactly what he wants to do. He knows exactly what he has to say. He knows his material inside and out. And unlike me, he's more, what's the word? Like, ready for primetime TV, I guess, I tend to swear a bit, and I've got some oddball, like, spiritual opinions and this and that. But anyway, it's going to be extremely exciting. I'm very, very much looking forward to working with him. I just spoke by email a little bit with Brant Danger of School of the West. And so many of you might know that Brant Danger runs a School of the West .west or .world, I think. I'm sorry, you can look it up. And it's a homeschool programming that is white positive. So he's a teacher, and has all that background and all of that stuff. So it's it's not like how do I put this? There's math and grammar and just normal school stuff, but a lot of it is it takes out the CRT essentially. It removes the Marxism from the program, if you will. So I haven't come up with like a schedule quite yet, but somehow at some point we're going to be connecting, and that's going to be very powerful. Get Brant Danger and White Student T in one room. Oh shit! I basically am just going to keep my mouth shut, because like between the two of those guys, it's just a whirlwind. It's going to be just phenomenal. So obviously, many of you know that I have a teaching background, and so I have some a lot of relevant experience on these topics that I can share. But both of those guys, again, they're very, very on top of their game, very much so. And so it's really, really great to work with people that are so good at what they do, that and then have professionalism. It's funny because it is making me reflect on my own professionalism. Like maybe I could be more. I run a very casual stream. I think. I mean, I'm not really, I'm not selling a curriculum of any kind or anything that's sort of like, something I guess on that level. Um, but anyway, either way you look at it, it's all going to be good. It's going to be very, very good content for the movement. It will give people not only education and information and data, but it'll give them a kind of an extended network, of people who are involved in this kind of thing. So that's brilliant. That's just beautiful, and it all just kind of fell together accidentally, like on the last first show with White Student Tea. We just pretty much figured out, or at least I figured out right during the show, like we can't stop here. We gotta turn this into something. Let's do this weekly, and of course he was super jazzed about that. So now we're moving forward, and again he's really on top of things. So there's sort of a curriculum planning kind of approach, where there'll be, and we're also thinking that the shows will only be about a half hour, because in terms of like what works for people, I think that people kind of want, they want content that is sort of, I don't want to say quick and easy or whatever, but more convenient. Like an hour show is a bit of an investment, and like honestly, a lot of like on these art streams, I can see why people would only come in for say 15, 20 minutes or something, because it's sort of just a fun, casual, chill, social time and yada yada. So whatever. But with streams of this nature, it'll be more like something you could use in a classroom, something you could use in a courtroom. So, that being said, I'm super duper excited about it. I'm going to see about what's happening in the chat. D2017 is here. I love Moros, yeah. I'm proud to say that Kai is actually a friend of mine. I correspond with him by email. What's his channel, White Student T? He's on, where is he on? He's on Twitter. And so you just look up White Student Transmission on Twitter. T is like, I'm just using the letter T for short for transmission. White Student Transmission's kind of a long name, so I just say T, like this, that's just me sort of, abbreviating. I mean, he might like tea, to drink tea. I don't know. I love tea, lived in Asia for 5 years. Better like tea, you son of a bitch. So, been to a lot of great tea houses. I like bubble tea. Okay, so, but yeah, I did correspond with Kai recently. I did, I played some of his speech in, like as a background for one of my art streams, and I sent it to him. He was quite happy about that, and so we got to talking about a bunch of things, and yeah, I'm really just trying to get his work more out there. I think that, especially now, with what's right at the doorstep here, his speeches are very, very, very relevant. Certainly for America, but I'm going to say, in my opinion, more so for Europe. He seems to focus a lot on England, which I find interesting. There's something, I think that he believes that England is kind of the I don't know if that maybe, I mean, and this is my opinion, I'm not quoting him, but that perhaps England is kind of like the front line of the war against globalism in Europe. Um, anyway, he seems to have a lot of speeches uh, sort of for and about England. So, and I'm a huge Anglophile, so you can kind of you put the two together. But I don't know. I mean, I think like France and Denmark and Germany, probably Germany more than all of them, is the most brutalized. Um, the laws that they have are totally draconian. Um, I've had German friends online that say, you know, we are marching in the streets, we are against our sort of enslavement. Um, but I mean, like, you know, the globalists would like all countries to be as legally bound and chained as Germany is, and then they would start treating us like Palestinians, you know. Um, I don't know. That kind of segues into another interesting topic. So I'm not for the dissident right siding with specifically Hamas. No, I mean like there's the difference between Hamas and the Palestinian people, but you know that such a thing could be difficult for. I mean, in politics, they're gonna kind of mush it all together. Like if this is what I'm trying to say. So right now, the new psyop out there is that. Um, you know, if you like Jewish media is basically saying if you're anti-Zionist, that automatically makes you pro Hamas, and that automatically makes you like a terrorist. You know, it's like me saying that like you know if you don't drink milk, then you're against farmers, and therefore you're going to collapse the economy. Therefore, we have to. Do some hurt you somehow. I mean, it's just like it's gaslighting. It's a straw man. It's just typical leftist fucking you know psychotropic wackadoo. You know, like the way that they fuck with your head and it's intimidation. You know, like if you're not for us, you're against us, and therefore, you know, you're going on a list. You know, we're gonna send someone to get you something. So you know, America is deeply embedded right into this kind of propaganda, which is sickening. But you know, what else is new? Anyway, what I'm trying to frame here or sort of set up here is that while people like Mike Enoch and others in the dissident right are very, very pro-Palestinian, and may even be pro-Hamas, that doesn't speak for all of us. And but on the other hand, because like I'm not for war at all, and this is not none of this is my business. I certainly how do I put this? I think you guys know where I stand on like Jewish power, but I also have the same opinion on like Muslim power. Like Muslims don't belong in the West at all. We're completely incompatible. Their ideology is just as bad as Jewish hegemony, Noahide law. You know, Islam is Muslim Noahide. You know, that's essentially what it is. So we don't win in either case. You know, which is why there's no sound position to kind of side with either. Not only that, all of it is designed to pull Western countries into a war. All of it is designed to set up the next flood of millions of Muslim migrants, so-called migrants into Western countries. And all of that is set up to wage war against the West. So it's really foolish to fight over which demon is going to kill you in the end. That's what is going on. And then beyond that, maybe I get some tunes on in the background a little bit, just so it's not so dry. Hang on a second here. I'm gonna chat with you in a second, Chief Moody. Hang tight. Let's get some cool music on. How about maybe I can get a good lo-fi thing going on. Some lo-fi is like really chill, and then some's like super depressing. We're not trying to get depressed. This should be okay, hopefully. Like good painting music. After you get through the kind of cool and loud and noisy and goofy sounding garbage, blah 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 blah. Sorry for all that garbage. Let's turn on the music. Alright, getting it up. Oh yeah, getting down and low with some lo-fi. Chief Moody says, what kind of comic book are you drawing? Well, I'll give you a little look at some of the pages. It's a kind of a superhero story. I don't have the main pages handy, but I'll kind of pop a few of these on screen here. It's called Militia Man, and it's about a superhero who is a kind of a normie Christian Republican who discovers that the sponsors for his superhero team, MAGA Force, are run by a corrupt organization called Judeo-Christian News. And gradually through the story, he comes to realize that they murdered his teammates, and they're essentially a demonic force trying to bring in a kind of a demon that would rule Earth. And so he has to be teamed up with these guys who he thinks are his enemies, but are actually the real people that are going to work with him to stop the demonic control of Earth. And then there's just the evil characters at the Bilderberg Hotel. So this should give you a basic sense of what it is. And let's see. Scott Mume is here. Mr. Kent, I salute your return to the public service. Thank you. I've been out of the game for a long time, and I'm coming back, both guns blazing. Your public service for white well-being. Wishing you well with the mentioned undertakings alongside Mr. Danger and Mr. White Student T. Looking forward to it. It's going to be great. And Clover's Loves is here. Hey, Clover's Loves. That's a cool name. D2017 says England is an important place with good people. I'm French, but I still love them. Haha. Yes, I'm half French and half English as an American. So how do you like that? Big love for France. Huge love for France. So CR7 fan is here. CR7. You know what? I'm going to have to look that up. I'm not sure what CR7 is. Is that a video game? And actually, if you come on to my Thursday show, my Tuesday show, we do take drawing requests. So what time is that? That's 12 noon in the East Coast. My co-host is in England, or he's in Europe somewhere. Anyway, he's from England. But I'll look that up. Let's see. Murros? That's cool. He seems like a good guy. He was guesting on a lot of shows recently, but hasn't in a bit. So I'm trying to work with Kai Murros to get his ideas out more. I mean, I'm not CNN. I'm not Fox News. I don't have a gigantic reach, which I wish I did. I think I can get there, but I certainly will get there faster with your help. If you guys can share and get my shows out there, that would help. Because it's not about me; it's about the cause. It's about the message. So I'm going to be figuring out how to feature more of Kai's work in my streams. I've asked him, like I said, you can come on. like, you can come on my show anytime, you know. He's sort of, I guess shy. He's like a bit shy. Which is crazy because his speeches are like super badass, like crazy badass, you know. But I mean, they're speeches, meaning like you write down what you want to say and it's all there. Whereas I don't know if, like, not everybody sort of is comfortable with just kind of spontaneous interviews and whatever, you know, whatever. I'm like, look, you know, anytime you want to come on, we can hook it up. And there's probably going to be some kind of a scenario where I can have him on maybe a panel discussion, something like that, you know. So that'd be cool. I was in the middle of giving a big speech about something. I forgot all the details about that. But anyway, we're gonna groove on. See, talk about chill music, man. This is nice and mellow. But like I said, I have a show at 8:30 Eastern. And you guys are going to want to tune in for that. That's with White Student T and myself. And we're going to be going over methods of how to deal with anti-white doctrine in education. So there's a lot of stuff related to that, and he's got it all kind of worked out. So, but what we're doing is we're breaking down chapter by chapter. So each show is going to kind of knock out a different chapter, and I'm not going to kind of all do it at once because it's just better for people to have, like, oh, well, you know, this is on this particular topic, this on that topic. You know, so like if you're researching something, it's easier to just, you know, hit the one thing that you need, you know. So that's how we're doing it as far as formatting. You know, he and I could just go on and on. We could talk quite a lot, but anyway, that's for other shows. I think like this show's more of a chill, hangout, stream kind of thing, you know. That's lends itself more to just, you know, musing for X amount of time or whatever. Some more in the chat here. Let's check it out. Chief Moody says, awesome. Is this the first issue? This one I'm doing now is actually the second, and there's about 5 issues. But I'm going to put it all together as one graphic novel. I will be giving away the first issue on my website, and I'm going to be selling the pages to try to pay for the coloring, digital coloring and lettering. Mash Cat's here. Hi, how are you? Hey, Mash Cat. Good to have a new friend here. Let's see, I Can Fly is here. Hi, can you say banana? Nanaba. Oh, I didn't say it right, sorry. Banana, there you go. And that would make my day. Well, golly gee, your day has been made. And now you know. There you go. And now you know. Forevermore. And so it is. Just a quick reminder for folks in the audience that I don't know what's going on with the algorithm with YouTube, but I've been getting like a lot of kids on the show, and they, you know, they have funny requests and they're kids, and I'm like, hey gang, you know, this is not a kids show, so, you know, go back to Roblox or something, you know, go have some fun with your friends or something. So I don't know, I don't know who's, you know, the new people in the chat, I don't know who I'm talking to, but if that be the case, then just letting you know. let me know. Alright. This way. I put out a couple new shorts, by the way, guys, if you want to check the shorts on my YouTube. They're really fun. They're really cool. Mostly comics stuff. There's some fine art stuff in there. I have a lot of artwork. A lot from years, you know. So I want to try to cover some of that in the shorts. The shorts are only like a 30-second videos, you know. It gives me a kind of a chance to show off other things I've done and show that I'm not just a comic book artist, you know. So this particular character here, you can produce these kinds of like force fields. And he's kind of, you know, blocking himself from being shot at, I guess. Anyway, let's just move on here. I feel like I would like to do some lo-fi original music with like my own lyrics and stuff. I think that'd be pretty sweet. Maybe I'll take a quick break to look at some comics or something. That could be kind of fun. Just to spice it up a bit. There's a really nice book that I got. These are really fun because they're just black and white. And they have like art from many different artists. So you can, as like a professional artist, you want stuff like this. You want to see the different techniques. You can steal ideas and inking techniques and stuff. Like for example, if you look at her costume, it's probably sort of like silky or something, and how does the light fall on it, you know? This is little textural backgrounds with some tone. Look at like how the hair is portrayed in here. This is very complex. It's very nicely done. Super cool art. Looks awesome so far. Thanks so much, Mash Cat. Very kind of you. And let's see what else. These are actually meant to be like posters. Like you can rip them out and hang them up. Kind of look through some more. I'm not like a like, I know what I like and what I don't like. This is very, very refined, kind of like, look at it, like all the bazillions of like lines in the background. This kind of work is super freaking hard to do. I mean, it's very, very technical. Like, it's not fun doing drawing and inking stuff like that. I'm just telling you the truth, you know. But it's part of the world of comics. Now look at the graphic design here. That's really nice. You know, the wasp and like all this sort of montage in here. This is part of her like old costume from like the 1950s. Beautiful rendition of the eyes and such that has a kind of a more classic style. This is good. This Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. She looks more like this. She doesn't look quite like she does in the movie. But look at like the way that the wind and the clouds are portrayed in here. This is kind of really nice. The way that they kind of like swish around her. The use of like the fade in here where like there'll be some fog or something and these are really, really nice devices. The spraying of they use like a toothbrush. They'll get some white ink. It's not ink, but it's paint, and they kind of and they get this kind of star type texture to it. It's nice. This has got a kind of a moody girl look to it, which is she's sexy but probably very troubled. And then like this like crazy detailed technical backgrounds which are very realistic and they add to the realism, you know. I don't care for this kind of shit. I think this is mostly garbage. That's the shit right there. That's Alan Davis. He's an English comic book artist. Mark Farmer is the guy who does his inks most of the time. He's one of my heroes as far as like the look and the style. How do you know? And who's here? Let me take a look. Is that Ulfric? No way, it's Ulfric. He's here. Let the party begin. Howdy, Don. A lot of new folks in this chat. From the looks of it, good to see. Yeah, I've been getting so many new subscribers. I've got 2 regular shows on Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern, and then, Tuesday is 8, yeah, that's right, I'm getting my head mixed up. And then, no, Tuesday at 12 noon, sorry, today's Thursday. And then Thursday is at 8:30 in the evening, Eastern. And the 8:30 show is a very, kind of technical academic show about how to handle critical race theory and education and all those things. The Tuesday show is a lot of fun. That's with Paul Patriart from Patriotic Arts Community in the UK. So it's a really great kind of place where, American and English audiences can come together. I mean, I've got people from all over Europe and stuff that follow my channel. It's not that like demarcated or whatever, but look at this piece, man. That's freaking sick. Isn't that gorgeous? Holy crap! See, now why this is so beautiful is pretty much the composition. Look at the angle, the camera angle, sort of flying up in the air. The way that the characters are layered, sort of like that. And then it's gorgeous, gorgeous landscape. It's quite nice. I like that a lot. Scott Mume says, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Sincerely, your preceding works, namely the American Zarathustra series, was colossal in value and truly appreciated. Onwards and upwards, brother. Scott, you're my man. You are my man, because I kind of retired that brand. And I mean, I'm obviously all of those videos are still at this channel. Anybody can look into the playlists. And I put a huge amount of time and effort into interviewing some of the top influencers. I've had, Mark Collette, Richard Spencer, um, just many, many, White Rabbit Radio, uh, Tyler Hamilton, Josh Neal. Just everybody that it was anybody in the scene was on my show, and mainly art related. Hey, Hollandier. So, like, I think a lot of people don't know who I am, like, because, my mom passed away 2 years ago, and I actually had some health problems I had to work through, and massive depression problems that I finally overcame. And now I am killing it. So I'm back with a lot of love and energy. When you go through hard times like that, it changes you and it kind of gets your shit together, because you might say you got your shit together, but until you're facing some of the hardest, most painful experiences, you don't really change. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, pain, suffering will change a person. Taxes, barbecue, or Mexican food? I'll take barbecue if I had to choose there. Mega Chad's here. Stand back. Got a Mega Chad in the room. Good to have you, Mega Chad. So look at how beautifully rendered her hair is, and this kind of cute little nose and the little freckles and stuff. Like, it's some nice illustration work. This kind of inking too, like, you got to be very deft with a brush to get this type of quality. And granted, a lot of people use digital these days, and digital has a way of faking to be the brush. What is this, by the way? Well, right now I'm just kind of looking through some artwork to talk about and enjoy, but I was doing an art stream, like, not just minutes ago, so I just thought I'd kind of break it up a bit before I get back to work on this. But yeah, just been announcing my new streams coming out. I try to stream every day if I can, you know what I mean? And a lot of it's a bit of a hangout session. I do muse a lot on politics. Oh, now I remember what I was saying. Hold on a sec. Okay, let's get back to work here. Hold on. So I was talking about the dissident right and its position on the war in Israel, and how my thoughts on that. Even though I don't agree with Mike Enoch of National Justice Party kind of associating us with Hamas, which is not, I'm not down with that. He did put out, I guess it was a post on Telegram, where he made a very, very excellent point. And what he was saying was something to the extent that, the Jewish media is now pushing association between Hamas and white nationalism, and how white nationalists are trying to co-opt the cause, so to speak. You really have to see what he wrote. I'm not paraphrasing it very well, unfortunately. If I don't have it in front of me, I can't really, say what it is that he said. But maybe I should see if I can find it. But the point he was making that I thought was key is that there were no Palestinians sort of complaining about this. That, and then you have other cases where you have people like Lucas Gage, who's extremely outspoken against Jewish power on Telegram, and how many, many, many Muslims and Palestinians have been reaching out to him with, like, extreme gratitude and, wanting to send him donations, and just so happy that he's exposing Jewish hegemony and helping them in that regard. So you always have to watch the way that who's controlling the narrative of things. Um, but once again, I'm very like, I'm only on our side. You know, like I'm not for war in any. I mean, other than in self-defense, but you know, I think you guys get where I'm coming from. You know, they meaning you know who I mean by when I say they. They're gonna try to attack us on the basis of like, oh, you're for Hamas and therefore you're blah 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 blah, and they're gonna call us bad names and they're gonna try to create legal situations to go after us, and they're always trying to go after us. They always have a new guy to go in and shoot up a mall or some shit like in New Hampshire. Yeah, they claim that this shooter is like, oh, I'm gonna go shoot up people of color and they're the problem in the world. And then he ends up shooting a bunch of white dads. I hear some banging. I wonder what that is. I don't know. And it's like, it's New Hampshire for starters, so there's very little people of color there to start off with. And then secondly, killing all of these whites is, it's insane. Like I don't think that people are falling for the narratives. And I guess you could say that the government is the domestic terrorist, if they're doing things like this. I can't, prove that. It just appears to be that way. But when a government's going after its own people, that's pretty much admission of, it being tyrannical. You know what? I'm hearing a bang, bang, bang at the door. I know that sounds kind of scary, but I'm gonna have to jump here, guys, because this sounds like something. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you later at